I come to you as the new prophet of the new world. Heaven returns to earth. I stand before you as the voice of God to deliver God's second promise. Heaven returns to earth, or as some of you know it, as the coming of the kingdom of God. Galactic alignment, the 21st of December 2012, begins my 40-year reign and concludes on Judgment Day, the 21st of April, Easter 2052. To help me with this 40-year spiritual quest, planet Earth, as of the 21st of December 2012, will come under universal karmic law, instant karma, also known as what you sow, you will also reap. Or, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. The karmic law will change from collected karma that was issued at an appropriate future time and place to an instant karma issued at a more immediate time, place, and instance. The new universal karmic law of instant karma will affect humanity's personal, relationships, community, country, and global actions and reactions for the whole 40-year period. The 40-year period starting the 21st of December 2012 will be completed on Judgment Day, the 21st of April 2052. This 40-year spiritual quest will be completed by the living and the dead of humanity. Those dead now and those dying during the 40-year spiritual quest to Judgment Day. I am the bloody Lamb of the Book of Revelation, who was worthy to open the book of life and break the seals. On the 21st of December 2012, I complete my 40-year spiritual quest with God, from which God has been preparing me to lead humanity to the promised land of heaven returning to earth. My 40-year spiritual quest began on Easter 1972 at 16 years old, after praying to God for help when my dad passed away. During my spiritual quest, I encountered two spiritual experiences. My first spiritual experience began 12 years later on the Easter of 1984 at the age of 29 years old. The spiritual experience lasted 6 months, in which God taught me to face my fears and have faith. Within God's teachings, I gained self-confidence, self-worth, and self-esteem. When my spiritual experience was complete, God took a step back to see if I was willing to step out in the world with faith, with God by my side. The next 9 years, God guided me to learn, live, and become a living example of the teachings I had learnt through God's guidance. The teachings came in all forms: spiritual philosophy, religion, Buddhism, theosophical, and spiritualism. In January 1992, at the end of 9 years, through living my teachings, I found God. I then began another spiritual experience that lasted 13 months. In this spiritual experience, I was to learn from all the teachers who had walked this earth as holy men, who are now the founders of all the philosophies, religions, and spiritual teachings that humanity follow today. Towards the end, I was welcomed home by God, as I entered the highest portal of heaven which God presides. God showed me his world and taught me all the secrets of life. I was taught God's amazing divine plan of wisdom, created from the will, love, and wisdom of God, which all things are created and given life from God. I was later asked by God, did you wish to stay with God? Or do you wish to guide humanity back to me, God? I had discovered who I was and knew it was my destiny to return to earth and guide humanity back to God, as I now knew the way and what was needed to achieve the goal of God's second promise of heaven returns to earth. Now at the age of 38, I was now a prophet and a messenger for God. As such, I was told to go out and teach this teaching to those that would listen. This part of my journey began in February 1993. I was told by God in these words, "Go out and teach humanity as I have taught you. Do not lead or seek those to follow, but show them the way home to me, God. Teach them that there were 3 stages of teachings: to learn the teachings, to live the teachings, to be seen as the teaching. Teach them well so that each and every one can learn from your wisdom and from your example, that they may inherit the kingdom of heaven on earth." 40 years to the time of judgment. Who will guide you home? Who is worthy to guide you into heaven? Who has been to hell and heaven and back to become the champion? Sounds familiar in history of times gone by. Osiris, Quetzalcoatl, and now Simon Peter, as Jesus said, "I say unto thee, thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth, thou shalt loose in heaven." I stand before you as Simon Peter, the bloodied lamb from the book of Revelation, also known as the new Buddha or the Avatar of Synthesis. God has sent and passed prophets, Moses, Buddha, Jesus, and holy men to teach spiritual philosophies and religion through the ages, as a way for humanity to learn how to live in harmony with the will of God. It is now over the next 40 years, humanity must be living these teachings to be seen as a living example of the teachings. At the end of 40 years will be Judgment Day. Those of humanity living the teachings will enter into the kingdom of heaven. Those of humanity who will choose not to live God's way of life will live in a hell of their own making, in a time period of God's choosing. All of God's prophets, Moses, Buddha, Jesus, and holy men, etc., need to be praised for all their dedication, loyalty, love, and appreciation for God and humanity. It is because of their loyalty to God and humanity that all teachings, stories, and memories must stay forever. For it is when all these religions are taught separately or as one that God's truth, love, and wisdom can highly be appreciated. It is seen in their teachings that God's priests, masters, sons, saints, disciples, teachers, etc. have earned their praise and worthiness as God's closest confidants and family, and expression of love for God and humanity. Love to you all. Please see part 2 of A New Prophet of a New World, the Mystic Man. Thank you.